All right, welcome back to Soul Spark Tarot, and I'm your host, Mr. Renew, and can't really see me, but whatever. Um, Today we're gonna do a little quick message. I ain't got much time, but I do want to make sure we get something out today. Might come back later on something with a yap, but I got a yap on the other channel tonight. Anyways, the energy that I pulled today earlier was the Emperor card. So the fact that the Emperor card comes out, it shows me that there's a newfound control. So I know we was looking at some details yesterday, and I feel comfortable that I've made some changes in some details so I can go and look at different types. So if you don't know, if you were never taught this, because I've come across a lot of people who have not, and it's because it's just been built over a long period of time. Like I had a 10th grader who was doing the same kind of concept as a fourth grader, and it's the same thing. And guess what? Neither one of them knew what the hell was going on in regards to details. So knowing how to identify the differences between the commonalities is the key. I think that is the big thing. That's like what I was pondering when I was on my walk, listening to a few different people. And as I was listening to these people, they were telling me all the things that I already knew. But because I realized that just like a teacher, when you have somebody else trigger it for you, it helps. Because I haven't had that spiritual teacher who can trigger me, I've been trying to teach how to trigger yourself. But there's just always a limitation. There's always something outside of you that can help you, but you got to put yourself outside of yourself most of the time in order to experience that. So you got to be aware of trying to have it internally so you can be the emperor in control. And this person was saying that ever since a kid, people have been making uh, external things their main focal point, the pedestal of their life. And there's been a hole from childhood that somebody's been trying to fill. And that hit me hard in a few different areas. And I got a big old specific example detail yesterday. One of the students I was working with uh, had they received Student of the Month, and it's the first time an elementary student got that award. And it was crazy because I was the last session of the day for this person, and I don't know, they just decided to do it while I was there. But I realized that, like, this is what it would have looked like if I would have had that support, because I'm teaching him things that I didn't realize that I was tested on. And it was crazy because if I would have had the help that he has, like in a person like me, I would have been like in a whole different pathway. But I think what that message was is to show me how I have to start believing in what happened a little bit more, because what happened allowed me to even recall and recognize, even when I don't really see it. But because I've taught myself to document it in a relationship to myself, I'm using myself to document, and I don't care how it comes out. In other words, looking at the scenario with this person, it helped me realize that, like, I was holding on a certain energy towards, like, my parents still. And this energy, it was like trying to not be any part of them while still being grateful for who they are. But I don't like what they do, so it's me kind of resenting that part that just is. Sometimes you just look like your mom, or you just look like your dad, and you just got your grandpa nose, and you just have it, and you can't do anything about it. And I know it's a subtle detail. Again, it's not like it's not like I want to go make a physical change and get like a surgery or anything, but I am being surgical upon the energies that's associated with these body parts. And it's not all parts. And because it's not all parts, that means that it's something different. It's not a thing I can identify like a noun. It's a noun like a place versus a noun like a person, or a noun like a thing. It's a place. So instead of looking at this thing called nose, I can look at this place called smell or nose, right? That is going to allow me to see it differently. And because I can see it differently, I can start to value different things, which will help me believe in the acceptance. Believing in the acceptance. You got to believe that what you're accepting is true for you, even if it's temporary. So let me pull a card, but one of the things that I did have a little epiphany about was I've been afraid, man. And a lot of the things I've been afraid of is because I'm pretty good at a lot of things, like just off rip. And it's crazy because I don't really try. And what brings me fear is that I won't have the time to do all the things that I know I'm good at and that I want to be good at. I'm afraid that it's going to take too much time to go try some of the things that I want, but I feel like it's getting a little too late. I already know this time, this dynamic across time. I already understand it and how it operates, but me as the human of actually enacting it, that's different from theorizing. And so when I'm trying to formulate the practical plan, it makes me a little bit fearful because I've been already trying for so long, but it's been without guidance on the physical world. And so, because it's been without guidance on the physical world, I've been needing a way to document how I am doing. And, when I was a kid, I used to have my grandparents and my grandma and my grandpa. And those two people on different sides of my family, they helped me like stay together with myself when I'm doing these changes. And it's 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 hard for me to really try to pinpoint it because again, at one point in time I'm interested in doing this, and then at another point in time I'm interested in doing that. And what this person who I was listening to on my walk this morning said was, as we find the belief within ourselves that we are changed, then we can again value those changes. And I like to see this as me sliding on a scale. If I'm bowling, there's different parts of where the ball is sliding across the ramp. If I'm skateboarding, same thing. If I'm doing my nails, again, you start at one end of the nail, start at another, but then you do the same thing with the layers. If I'm getting my hair cut, again, there's layers to it, but there's also starts and finishes. So as you're identifying new parts of these details that you once had, like me being the teacher of a student who's getting supported by the parents and the facility in order to be their greatest, and then rewarding that person for growing so much, what else do I do outside of experience that and value it? What else do I do? Like, do I be resentful? Do I hate it? What do I do? Because even when that happened, and then I haven't seen this person in a couple of sessions, and they didn't do the greatest on this one section, because again, it's the same section that he's not been doing well on, and we haven't been at a practice. It's like, do I let that moment at the end spoil the day, even though he was spoiling for himself, or do I just go with the facts and appreciate that I don't have much time left? I think I'm going to go with the latter, and I'm going to appreciate the fact that I don't really have that much time left, and I'm just going to accept what comes in, just like a parent would have to accept their highs and their lows. Just like I have to accept my parents being present versus absent. When I accept it, that means other things can pop up, and that means I can make the right decision in respect to anybody else but myself. And you know why I need to be obligated to myself? because I'm the emperor and I'm looking to help the whole empire, myself included. So I think what's best for me is what's best for all. What's good for all should be good for me. Umbutnu. And I think that's a good message for us to end off on. Let's get a card though, because I wasn't expecting just to talk. But hey, seeing this message is for you. So we got a few cards to fall out. We got Seven of Wands, strength, and so have the strength to fight for your new release, your new passions, whatever's going on. In other words, people are trying to get you to stay. If I had to use myself in this job situation, people want me to stay. They're probably going to try to convince me to stay, figure out some kind of way to keep me there. But as I'm realizing, education doesn't give me enough back because I can't do it my way. I want to teach spiritual education. I just want to use school to show people that they already know this shit. I've been doing that already. But because they're kids, they don't understand the spiritual experiences. Because their parents, they don't really care because sometimes it doesn't influence them at that moment. And other times it does. But most of the time it doesn't. Most of the time parents are supportive. Most of the time things just, people just want their own way. That is not the spirit. That's the ego. And so I'm trying to get out of the education altogether. Even in new places, it's just not for me. But what that does is, because I'm conferring with myself and I'm taking the high ground on some part of me I truly don't understand, but I believe in that motherfucker. I believe in that one dude. I don't know what he really said, but I believe it. That's like a kid believing in their teacher, bro. I don't really know. I've never learned it this way, but I'm gonna trust and have some faith. And then you have that strength to keep going, and guess what? It opens you up to something brand new. I think that is what's happening. So have that strength to be stubborn. I think I said that in my other video the other day. We need to have the strength to be stubborn. And the stubbornness is going to help us along the establishment of the new Ace of Swords. We got a whole new mindset. We got a whole new mental. We need to understand what details will help us remember our why. Why did we change on this pathway? So I got a bunch of resources if you want. Some of them are free. Most of them are free. But paid stuff is worth it. Check out the link in the description box. Promise you, it'll take you where you need to be. So I gotta make it quick on this one. This card came out yesterday too. Again, the anxieties that we were established, the details that we needed to find, those things have been found, and we are not going towards the death or the Ten of Swords. We're going towards the Chariot. That's what the bottom of the card means for me. This is where it grew from. So this Chariot grew from the anxieties and not the Ten of Swords, which is the completion and death, the cooking of things. And now we're free. So make sure you can hold on to the things that keep you free, and make sure that you can appreciate your freedom from all the things you never knew you wanted to be free from. So, all right. I appreciate y'all being here. Peace.